Welcome to Monmouth in Focus, a program about the services and functions of Monmouth County government. I'm Commissioner Director Tom Arnone, your host for this segment of Monmouth in Focus. Today we are joined by Mark Aaliyah, the owner of the Long Branch Distillery. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you. Great.
So great
Pleasure to be
times
here.
in your industry right now going on, and I know the busy season's coming up. Talk a little bit about where you're located, and then we'll get a little bit about your
Sure.
business itself.
So we opened 2020, 3 weeks before COVID, which was 4 years ago this February. So we hit a milestone. We celebrated our 4-year anniversary. And we're located in a great area of Long Branch, right opposite the Long Branch train station, on the other side of the tracks, we like to say.
So what made you decide to get into this field, to open this industry?
You know, I wish I had a sexy story, Tom, like my grandfather made hooch in the basement. Something. But family's always made wine and always been around craft spirits. So when we found the location in the area, we really liked what we saw, and we thought it would be cool to bring a distillery to Long Branch.
So as you know, we created Brewed and Distilled in Monmouth, and we just had a little, I guess, type of event at your place, basically talking about the month being one of the great craft beverage months of that day there. So talk a little bit, has that kind of like, has the county assisted in hopefully promoting positively to what you're doing?
Absolutely. We know Monmouth County is unique in that we have the most breweries, distilleries, and wineries, right?
Yes, you do.
In the
Yes,
state,
you do.
in our county. So it's cool to be a part of that, and we were honored to be the first location to host that event and receive that proclamation. And everybody with the program has been great. We love seeing, they tag us on social media. They've made the postcards up for us. They've got a website that lists all of the distilleries and breweries and wineries around the county. We love the help. I mean, we could use it, and it's great to have an organization.
And that's
that
what
can
it's
help.
all about. That's what we kind of tried to create a model of, basically being somebody that can market and promote for our businesses.
Yes.
There. So obviously there must be like a signature type of product. Do you have? What would that be?
All of them.
All of them? Okay, that's a
you
good
know,
one.
We're really proud of our gin. We entered it in a contest. We won a medal for it.
Is that your favorite?
It's my favorite.
It's your
yeah.
favorite?
Yeah, Bee's Knees. If you've never had a Bee's Knees, it's a delicious drink with 3 simple ingredients. But real proud of it. We have 5 spirits currently that we manufacture and 3 liqueurs, one of which I
Really?
brought here for you today.
Oh wow, pretty
Yeah.
cool. Obviously, having tours and stuff like that, different. I guess tours first. We'll get onto. So, do people actually come and reserve times to go through tours? And do you have a staff or an individual that takes them through those tours?
Yeah, so most of them are conducted by me.
Oh, cool.
We do offer a tour in depth, about an hour, in the distillery. There's a small fee for it, but we take people through the process, and they get to sample our spirits. And then afterwards, obviously, they're welcome to stay in our tasting room and enjoy some of our delicious craft cocktails that we make.
So obviously, like I said, as a very exciting period of time in your industry, but a lot of it was a little difficult with the state legislation. And obviously that was very public out there in the world and really impacted breweries and distilleries. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. That was the recent bill that Governor Murphy signed into law and mostly took away restrictions that were placed on breweries and
What were
distilleries.
those restrictions?
Well, we couldn't have and to be honest, they were only applied to breweries and soon to come for distilleries. We've spoken with ABC at length, and we kind of knew what was coming, but the majority were no food trucks were allowed on premises, which now are allowed in this new law,
Oh, okay.
which is great because people like to have something to eat while they're
Sure,
at a
sure.
distillery or brewery. We could only have a certain limited number of private events. Now those are unlimited, and now we're able to offer up to 25 sponsored off-site events. So there's a permit that we're working with ABC to finalize the details, but we could now go to something like Made in Monmouth possibly.
Right.
And we're
Oh, wow.
speaking to them about trying to get into that program, like wineries do, and be able to offer a tasting and sell our bottles on premise at an event like that. That would be a home run for us.
Now, so is that permissible right now to do that?
It's not. It's a gray area, and,
Okay.
and we're trying to work out the details with ABC. They're trying to fast track it. I don't know that we'll be able to participate in this year's event,
The
but
April
maybe
27th
next.
one, right.
We did get some emails inviting us to participate.
Yes.
But if we could do events like that, and according to this ABC law or this new law, the ABC is working on granting us the permission to do that. 25 a year, which would be great. That's 2 a month. I mean, we'd be happy with
Wow.
that.
So I know that a big part of your business is the events that you hold.
They are.
And it's pretty unique and I'm sure there are many different types of groups that come in. Can you touch a little bit about that?
Sure. I mean, we've done everything, and you've seen our space. We have a very unique layout with a tasting room that you enter into from the street. There's a glass wall there to see into our distillery equipment and operations. And then up towards the back, we have a 2,000 square foot venue that we've held bridal showers and wedding showers and,
Really?
and weddings, small weddings. We have several events coming up in April. As a matter of fact, the whole month is booked out on the weekends, which is a plus and minus because sometimes we have to shut down to the public for private events. But we've done things with some politicians have come in and held events at our space for fundraising, and we've done various organizations have come in, but it's a
Right.
great space to come in.
Yeah, so your space is, and I've been into a few of them. Yours is very unique because it's very open.
Yes.
You're in a great location there, and I think it's a growing location. So I think that you were very fortunate because with all the growth that's going on right now and what's projected to go on in that little area, that little donut there that
Yes.
you're at, should be, I think, very beneficial to you.
Long Branch is on fire.
Long Branch is on fire, and but I will tell you that I commend you guys for having the drive because it's not an easy business to open. And
No businesses.
right? And you had some obstacles there, but it seems like that path is being cleared, for people. Do you see that this industry here? Last I heard, which I'm sure those numbers have changed, but last I heard there was like 33 here in Monmouth County. I know personally I've gone to 2 or 3 ribbon cuttings there, so I'm sure that's changed there. And do you see it continue to grow?
If you're referring to the distilleries
Yes, the
specifically,
distilleries.
so there's 33 in the state.
33 to state.
Yeah.
I didn't mean Monmouth.
No, that's
I didn't mean
okay.
Monmouth.
That would be great if we had
Right,
33.
yeah.
We currently have 4 in Monmouth County.
4, okay.
But we've seen some attrition. Unfortunately, some breweries and distilleries haven't made the cut. Maybe it's their business model, and maybe it's another reason. But it's certainly the entry barriers are a little higher than a normal business, equipment investment
Yep.
and things like that. But we hope to see it continue to grow, and
Thank
we're
you.
going to do our part.
Thank you. I want to thank you, Mark, for coming today and joining me on this Monmouth in Focus segment. Looking forward to seeing the success of all of our distilleries here in Monmouth County. To the next time, thank you. Welcome to Monmouth in Focus, a program about the services and functions of Monmouth County government. I'm Commissioner Director Tom Marinone, your host for this segment of Monmouth in Focus. Today we are joined by Tom Levy of Crum & Company. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great to see you.
So
Great
happy
to
to be
see
here.
you. So obviously you have a great business. Everybody loves crumb cake. And so I would imagine that's your signature of your business. And first of all, before you start, where are you located at?
We're based at 300 Main Street in Asbury Park. It used to be Sammy's Street Food, which was
yes.
owned by a former student of mine, Sammy Saab. He has recently sold that business and he's gone back to France. And now that location is Tic Tac Taqueria.
Tic Tac Taqueria.
Yeah,
That's
so
a good one.
so I share space with them, and I do my baking there, and I also run my food truck out of there as well.
So obviously, one of your signatures is the crumb cake.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about how that started and
Sure.
and why does that make that such? Because it's a very popular, very popular in the industry.
Yeah, people are passionate about crumb cake. As is my family. We started with a family recipe. And it was just one of those things that enough people. I'll tell you a quick story. I was making it, I was selling it here and there, and we went to a family event. It was a wedding, and we went to an after party at the wedding. And I had given my daughter some crumb cake the week before, and she brought it to somebody's wedding, and we happened to come across these people a week later. And when they walked in, the bride said, "Oh my gosh, Allie, that crumb cake." And my wife looked at me, and I said, "What?" And then the husband walked in and said, "Oh, Allie, nice to see you. Oh my gosh, that crumb cake." And I looked at my wife and I said, "That's the thing." And that was the moment when we
That's
decided.
amazing story.
Yeah, that was in the fall of 2022. So by last year, the spring of 2023, we were in production with the crumb cake. And
Wow.
what makes our crumb cake great is not only the recipe, but we use a lot of butter. We use fresh eggs. And those are really the underpinnings. Quality ingredients are the underpinnings of good quality food.
So obviously you sell other products there, or
We do.
okay.
Yeah, we do. Well, it's all crumb. It's all
crumb cake
It's all the
based.
crumb. Yeah.
Right.
So we do the cake-based crumb cake, and we also do crumb bars, which are shortbread-based, which like a crispy butter cookie, with my own jams and preserves on top, which include raspberry, fig and rosemary, lime and coconut.
I hear it's very popular.
It is.
So obviously, by your website, you teach at the culinary school.
Yes.
In Asbury Park there, and so that's very passionate for me. We worked very hard. I think it's something that is well needed.
Yeah.
For that area of the county and throughout the whole county. So talk a little bit about that.
I'm really glad that you brought that up. For the last 25 years, I've been really since its inception, I've been working at that school, and I'm glad I have the opportunity to thank you here on this program for the tireless support of the then freeholders and now the county commissioners today, and making that program happen. It's for the first 12 years, I taught for the college students. For those of you that don't know, the culinary school is located in Asbury Park, and it's a collaboration with Brookdale Community College and Monmouth County.
It's a great
Vocational.
program.
So I taught their college students for a while, and then since 2010, I've been allowed to flourish as the baking instructor for the high school program. And I have to say, it's with the tireless support of the freeholders and now the county commissioners that has enabled this program to flourish, to develop a high quality education for the students and residents of Monmouth County. And then it's not only that, the restaurants benefit from these better quality students that can afford to work because they're not paying off a 6-figure school loan from CIA
And
or
you're
Johnson Wales.
You're in an area where there's such a need.
There's so many restaurants, and we're here in Freehold. I'm looking around, and I've had a bunch of students that have worked right on this strip. Asbury. I mean, you name the town. We've got students all over the county that are restaurant owners and actively working in industry.
Well, I know we're going off script here a little bit on this, but I've been a big proponent that the trades, your industry, all those, the higher education, the college isn't for everybody.
No.
There, and I think that's our function or mission, I guess you could say, is that we want to make sure that we are hitting everybody and giving the opportunities.
The pandemic was really a reset on that.
Exactly.
And for a few years, it seemed that vocational education, they almost wanted to change the name because it kind of fell out of vogue.
Exactly.
But now I think people really realize where you guys all along have been supporting all these different programs, whether it's culinary or it's nursing or cosmetology, HVAC, plumbing, electricity.
We've been doing it.
You guys have been doing it. You guys you are the model that all the vocational programs around the state followed. You guys did it first.
Great to hear. So, really good news. Something that's very passionate to me is the Made in Monmouth program there, and I hear that you're going to be there.
Yes, we are.
That's great. That's great.
I participated as one of the instructors, and
I
I
know
brought
that.
students there
I
for
know that.
years. And then last year, I made my debut at the Made in Monmouth at Brookdale.
Is there any future goals that you might have for your Crumb and Company?
Future goal is to get our own brick and mortar, of course, right here in Monmouth County.
Oh, please stay in Monmouth.
Well, there's,
Yeah.
there's nowhere else I'd rather
Okay.
be. I've got deep roots here, and you know, we want to expand our website distribution of the crumb cake. And in order to be able to do that, we need a bigger production.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next was how do people find out and know basically, is it all on a website or something to that effect?
You know, it's, you know, I'm sure they can, they'll post it if you want to see it, but it's crumbandcompany.com. You can find our website, our products are there. We ship 6 days a week. And if you're local in New Jersey, it's usually 1 or 2 day delivery, and the shipping's not expensive. It's, you know, under $8 or $10.
What's your hours of operation?
We're not open to the public. We only
Okay, that's right.
we
that's right.
exclusively sell online and at farmers markets.
Really? So, and now how often do you go to farm markets? Pretty regularly?
Pretty regularly. Like I was doing the fresh market in Asbury Park every week all summer.
That's great.
I was doing the market in Monmouth Beach. I'm going to make an appearance at the Marlboro Farmers Market this year.
That's great. Well, Tom, thank you. First of all, thank you for two things. For obviously being part of our Made in Monmouth and our successful program there, being a business here in Monmouth County, then more importantly, your passion to the culinary school. And I will just tell the residents here in Monmouth County, we're very fortunate to have somebody like Tom in there leading that way, because it truly is a huge successful program, but it's the people that are in there that are helping our youth there. Tom, thank you for joining us today. See you next time. We do everything here in Monmouth County as a team. And, you know, I don't think that there is any other county that has a state of the county. None of the driving success of Monmouth County can be successful without the success of the 53 municipalities. It's all one. It's global there. And, you know, and that's what we have strived on, the five of us, coming from our local municipalities, to know if we could drive the success of the municipalities, the county's just going to be as successful or even more successful. So that's been our ultimate goal. So what we have to try to do is make it affordable. And that's been our biggest challenge with inflation and all the rising costs, the state mandates that come down to us, that we have to try to completely mingle in to a budget and make it affordable. So some really important, and I think when you hear this, you're going to say, wow, that's kind of amazing the way we have put together our budget to make sure that we kind of drive certain things down there. Now, spending is a big component, but actually it's not the biggest component when you get into a county budget. And I'm going to give you some statistics here that I have. Over the past 10 years, Monmouth County has reduced its general tax levy each year. In 2024, the county tax rate was 27.52 cents per $100 property valuation. In 2023, that same tax rate was 19.41 for the same $100 of property valuation. This represents a 29.7% decrease. And taking into account, over the last 10 years, Monmouth County's tax rateables have grown $110 billion to $167 billion. So as we see, and we all see in our municipalities, the driving increase there, that's occurring in our market values, and that's good, but we have to try to manage through it too, which is very difficult. Obviously we put a pool program together with our AAA bond rating. You know, we tout that all the time, and I know people from the outside say all to us numerous times. They say, you know, really, what does that do? Well, each and every one of you that are here and our school boards realize now what it does, because everybody borrows off of our AAA bond rating. because it allows them to purchase and buy and refinance at the rate because of the fiscal responsibility that the five of us, along with our administration, have put in effect. And I might say, also representing here, and he had to leave for a meeting, was our prosecutor, Ray Santiago here, and I know he has representatives here also here. We have to balance all those, and it's difficult to put all those together. You know, New Jersey's little finance model relies heavily on property tax and funds school, municipal, and county budgets. For every dollar in Monmouth County's budget, property tax funds approximately 67 cents. Comparable. And this is what's really a touching point. Comparable counties fund their budgets with property taxes from 79 to 84 cents for every dollar in their budget. So think about this. The taxpayers, okay, the government is going to the taxpayers for that added increase, unlike the county where we try to find additional funding to make that happen. And that's where we tie into the next component there. We tie into our shared services. And that's been our biggest goal. And, you know, I'm sitting here with mayors and people that understand business. And that's been our goal. We strictly treat it like a business. The bottom line is we have a budget, the town has a budget, school boards has a budget. But it's only one budget that goes out. And if we could all work together through that to save money, obviously the ultimate reward is to the taxpayers there. So what we do is we treat it like a business. We work with our municipalities. And of course, what do we see? We see a savings to them, a revenue source to us. We plug that in, and it becomes a savings to our taxpayers. We have increased. I want to commend Sheriff Golden here with, obviously, we're in the state-of-the-art building here. And, you know, we believe in updating and keeping our infrastructure top notch. That's been the goal, to try to offset our infrastructure costs by increased revenues. So right now, we have 94 municipal assisted shared service programs, 81 commodity resale agreements, 50, thank you, Sheriff agreements, MOD tax portal agreements, tax map agreements, all those different areas we have there to generate revenue. We do work for our county schools. We do work for Brookdale. We share services with them to reduce their costs per pupil, to try to find ways to bring that cost down. All those things are important components that happen in the course of the year that ultimately save to a successful county. That's we try to be. I will tell you the one thing, and I sat in that seat with you, and this is to take nothing away from my predecessors at all when I say this, but I sat in the mayor's seat for 8 years. I sat in the council seat for 7 years, and I will tell you, my involvement with the county was minimal, I'll say, was minimal back then, okay? Where we've changed the scope of our model to be one. And that's what we have tried to do continually on a regular basis. We're about, probably in the next 2 weeks, engage into a new shared service coordinator there, which will be somebody very energetic that's going to come out and visit every one of our municipalities, going to visit every one of our Board of Educations, every which way to try to find an area for, on the selfish side, a revenue source for us, but a savings to you there. So it's been a big part of getting that out, but the only message is how do we get that out? And we increase public information to do that. And our social media growth has gone out. Our Instagram has gone up probably over 15%. Obviously, everybody sees all these Facebook messages that go out. All these areas have been the benefit of getting our message out. And I want to thank everybody from Public Information for that, because what I see now and what I came to 14 years ago is night and day of where we are right now. So I want to thank each and every one of you for that there. You know, some of the things that we're going to do this year, and we've talked about this for years, and we never pulled the plug on it, and this year we're going to pull the plug. Every resident in May is going to get a newsletter of all the ongoings from every department from every one of our constitutional officers to every one of our commissioners. It's going to go out to every resident out here so the residents can see what's going on. You know, at the end of the day, we can't control inflation. We can't control some of the things we can't control of. But the one thing you want to know is if you are paying a little more, if there is an upswing in some of these, what's going on to make that happen? It kind of gives a little bit more of a comfort feeling. So that's going to occur this upcoming year. You know, at the end of the year, at the end of the day, as everybody knows, a passion of mine is the business development. Coming from that world, being a small business owner, being a vice president of a large company now, challenges are the same to those businesses. And government has never really stepped up to be a big part of the success of them, and more importantly, the assistance of them. So that's our goal now, and we created that with our Grow Monmouth program, with our Made in Monmouth program. Our Made in Monmouth program will be this year, April 27th, and it will be our largest ever there. We are busting out of the seams, and if these businesses are coming back year in and year out, twice a year, obviously something is being done successfully, and it's their only area, it's their only day that they can reach 5,000 to 6,000 people. And I want to commend my colleagues here because they're so supportive of this event there that it's invaluable, and anybody that has never been there, and I doubt there is anybody in this room that hasn't been there, will tell you it's a feel-good story. And the thing that is probably the most remarkable thing to me about it is that there's 21 counties. We've been doing this. This was our 10-year anniversary. Nobody's followed suit. It's remarkable to me that no other county, and I will tell you that other commissioners come to all of us and say, this is unbelievable. I don't know how you guys do it. Just do it. And it's free for all of our businesses. And I want to commend my economic development area and department, along with our commissioners here, to make that success happen. The driving force is about to come up to us is our tourism industry. We want our farmland. We want our horses. You go down by the shore, they want all that commotion. That's revenue generating to them. It's our job to publicize that and market that for them. We do that now.